There's a lot of debate about if it's okay to self-diagnose as autistic. Here's why I think self-diagnosis is valid. Self-diagnosis doesn't do any harm. All self-diagnosing as autistic is going to do is allow someone to probably understand their brain better and find a community of like-minded people. Worst case scenario, the person self-diagnosing isn't actually autistic but now understands autism better. No self-diagnosed autistic people are getting special accommodations. You can't get ABA therapy, extra time on tests, or any other accommodation without an official diagnosis. Sometimes getting a diagnosis isn't possible. A lot of people get turned down for a diagnosis for stupid reasons. If you don't fit a common autistic trait like lack of eye contact or something similar, you're likely going to be denied a diagnosis despite obviously being autistic. Getting a diagnosis can be useless. It's almost completely useless to get a diagnosis. As an undiagnosed autistic adult, getting diagnosed is expensive, with it costing around $1,000 to $2,000 USD. And there aren't any supports in place for autistic adults. The only benefits I can see to getting a diagnosis as an undiagnosed autistic adult is it'll help with imposter syndrome, and people won't accuse you of faking as much. Some people can't afford an autism diagnosis. Like I said, it costs $1,000 to $2,000 USD to get diagnosed. Not everyone can afford to spend that much on a diagnosis. The wait list for an autistic diagnosis is normally really long. Most people have to wait from 13 months to 3 years to get assessed. Self-diagnosis can allow the person to understand themselves better while waiting for a diagnosis. An autism diagnosis will stay on your record forever. Autism is still stigmatized, and people get treated differently by professionals when they see the person has been diagnosed as autistic. Many people don't want to get diagnosed because they don't want to be treated differently because of it. Many autistic people get misdiagnosed as other stuff. According to a study done in 2021, over 75% of participants got an autism diagnosis around 8 years after their first evaluation. Autism is most commonly misdiagnosed as ADHD, bipolar, and other similar stuff. It's more commonly misdiagnosed in women, girls, and people of color due to it presenting differently or these people not fitting the stereotype of an autistic person. If you are going to self-diagnose, make sure to do tons of research. There are tons of articles and videos online. Make sure you don't just read one thing or watch one video. Do a lot of research to make sure, and remember that not every autistic person's experiences are the same. You might not have the exact same experiences as the people making the stuff you see or any autistic people you know.